day, guys. You're welcome to Neuroanatomy Zone. This is Neuroanatomy Zone where we do everything neuroanatomy in simplified format that are quite easy for the understanding. Okay. I'm Max. I'll be your host for today. So today we'll be looking at the introduction to the basic plan of the nervous system. Okay. So we'll be just acquainting ourselves with the subject of neuroanatomy today. Okay. When you hear neuroanatomy, it's just simply anatomy of the nervous system. Okay. When we were in secondary school, they told us that there are two systems in the body that are responsible for a coordination of the bodily functions. One uses chemical signals to coordinate the body system. And then they told us that system that uses chemical signals to coordinate body system is called the endocrine system. And then the activities of the endocrine system are quite slow, and very slow and long-lasting. Okay? And then they also told us that the other system that is responsible for coordination of the body apart from the endocrine system is the nervous system. The activities of the nervous system are quite very fast. Now the nervous system uses electrochemical impulses to coordinate bodily functions. Okay? So the nervous system is one of the systems in the body that coordinates and regulates bodily functions. It does that. It uses electrochemical impulses in the form of action potentials to coordinate the body, body functioning. Okay. Now the nervous system is involved in executive functions, autonomic functions, intelligence, judgment, memory. Now, basically, the activities of the nervous system helps affect and coordinate the physical, intellectual, and psychological aspect of our lives. Okay. Now, the nervous system is a highly complex system. Okay, it's quite complex. Because the activity of the nervous system are so important, the basic cells that forms the core of the nervous system, the basic cells that are involved in the main activity of the nervous system, which are impulse generation, impulse integration, and then process bringing out response. So the basic cells that are involved in these activities of the nervous system, they are so specialized in what they are doing that they cannot adequately regenerate. Okay, they cannot adequately regenerate. Basically, you would like to describe them as a lazy, obese individual, someone who is very lazy and he's obese. And he's obese, so he can't really help himself. He can't do much himself. So he will need someone to bathe him, just tend to him. So because the activities of the nervous system are quite complex, the basic cells that are involved in the activities of the nervous system, they lack the ability to adequately regenerate. Okay? Now, the nervous system is involved in the control and coordination of the body. Okay, it also adjusts the body to both the external and internal environment. Okay, and then it also helps to regulate all voluntary and involuntary activities. Okay, now the nervous system is divided into two large subdivisions, which are one, the central nervous system, okay, abbreviated as the CNS, and two, the peripheral nervous system, abbreviated as PNS. Now, the central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. Okay. It is responsible for impulse integration, processing of impulses, logical reasoning, thinking, intelligence, movements, basically all executive functions. Okay, that's where impulses are integrated. Okay, then the peripheral nervous system, on the other hand, is the part of the nervous system that is not the brain and the spinal cord. every other part of the nervous system that is not the brain and the spinal cord. Okay? Now, let me give you an illustration. Can I give you an illustration? Have you started?
Yes.
We have the brain and the spinal cord forming the central nervous system. Okay? Now, for information to leave the body, let us say this is the hand. Okay? I'm not a very good drawer. Okay? Let us say this is the hand. Here is the thumb, and then here are the fingers, and here we go. Okay? This is the hand. And then here is this guy who just picked a very hot iron on his hand. And the information bearing the signal that this is a hot iron that you just picked, we need to leave the hand and go to the central nervous system for integration. Okay? So there will be nerves that will carry this input, this sensory input, to the central nervous system for integration. These nerves that carry signals from the periphery, from the peripheral tissue to the central nervous system for integration are what we are calling, are what we are referring to as the peripheral nervous system. Okay? And then, after these signals gets to the brain will need to send response. We need to send motor response to the hand, telling you to drop that hot iron immediately. Now, so both the signals going from the hand to the central nervous system and from the central nervous system to the hand, both of them are what we are referring to as the peripheral nervous system. So we have the sensory signals and the motor signals. Okay, so the central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord, while the peripheral nervous system is divided into sensory signals and motor signals. Okay, now the motor signals can be further divided into the PNS. It can be divided into the sensory parts and motor parts. Okay? Now, the motor aspect of the peripheral nervous system can be divided into the somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is involved with skeletal muscles and voluntary actions, all voluntary aspects of all voluntary activities. While the autonomic nervous system is involved with all involuntary activities like rest and digest, the beating of your heart, okay, the movement of the muscles of your digestive tract. You can't regulate that. You can't control that. Okay, you cannot control. You cannot tell your stomach not to move. Okay, you cannot tell the food in your stomach not to digest. You can't do that. That's an involuntary activity. Okay, so that is that for the peripheral nervous system and the central nervous system. Okay, now the cells that forms the nervous system are basically the neurons. Neurons are the basic structural and functional units of the nervous system. Okay, now neurons have several characteristics. Okay, they have two main characteristics. They have the ability to be excited, okay, and then they have the ability to conduct signals. So the two characteristics of neurons are one, excitability, and two, conductivity. Okay. Now, functionally, neurons can be divided into three functional domains, which are a receptive domain, which is made up of the dendrites. Two, an integration domain, which is made up of the neuronal axons. And then three, a transmission domain, which is made up of the neuronal axon. So we have the receptive domain, which are the dendrites, the integration domain, the cell body, the transmission domain, the axon, the neuronal axon. Okay? Now, there are basically three types of neurons. We have sensory neurons, which should be involved in this activity, okay, bringing sensory information to the central nervous system. And then we have integration neurons, which will be the neurons that are here, that will be in the central nervous system, which should be responsible for integration and processing of information. And then we have motor neurons, which should be responsible for bringing motor response from the central nervous system to the peripheral tissue. Okay? Now, the brain. The brain, the human brain weighs about 1,400 grams. Okay? It constitutes about 2% of the total body weight. It is the organ that is responsible for thoughts, memory, and consciousness. Okay. The brain is also concerned with motor activities like regulation of visceral, endocrine, and somatic functions. It can be divided into three parts, which are